Hi, everybody. So this should be a nice short video. We're just going to go back and do the one part of section 1.9 that I skipped in the first video, which was from my trigonometry class. And that was on the general form of the equation of a circle. The general form of the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. Where D, E, and F are real numbers. So this is just a different form to write the equation in. And to convert these equations into standard form, I'm going to show you how that works. So here is an equation that's written in general form, and we want to convert it to standard form. The equation in general form is x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 4y minus 1 equals 0. So the first thing we're going to do, and by the way, we're going to do another example of this next, which is not all written out. I'm actually going to ask you to try it first, and then I will do it on the tablet. Okay, so let me get my pen out here and show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I did was I added 1 to both sides. I'm getting this constant term over on the other side. And then I'm putting the x terms together and I'm putting the y terms together. Now the next step definitely takes a little bit of explanation. Where did I get this 4 here and this 4 here? So that comes from completing the square. I can't remember if we ever had to do that in the trigonometry class. I can't think of a time off the top of my head that we had to do that. So the way that you get these 4s is like this. You take the 4 that's sitting in front of the x right here, and you do two things. Number one, you divide that number by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you take the answer to that problem and you square it. 2 squared is equal to 4. I hope this isn't the first time that you're ever seeing completing the square. Hang on, my pen just quit on me. There we go. Yeah, so you take that number and you square it. And this is the 4 that you see right here. That's how we got that. And then I get this 4 the same way. The only difference is I start with a negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, but of course the square of negative 2 is still 4. Okay, so notice, you know, and I was going to color code this and then I decided not to. So let's change this to blue. I just want to show you what's happening on the other side. I added this 4 to both sides, and I also added this 4 to both sides. Okay. So the reason for completing the square, as you hopefully heard in some other class, is because completing the square is how you get a perfect, what we call a perfect square trinomial. X squared, oh dear, hold on. Get my mouse back, there we go. X squared plus 4x plus 4 can be written as x plus 2 squared, and y squared minus 4y plus 4 can be written as y minus 2 squared. And of course, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 9. So this is the standard form, and that's actually all they asked for. I could stop right here. But I'll go ahead and point out that the center of this circle is negative 2, 2, as you heard in part 1 of the video. And the radius of this circle, remember this is r squared. If r squared is 9, that means r is 3. All right. So now, and there's a picture of that circle. So there's the center at negative 2, 2, and the radius is 3. Okay, so now I would like to give you a chance to try this one. This one is just a tiny bit more challenging, but it's the same idea. So if you want to pause the video, go ahead and do that and try it. And then when you're ready, we'll compare notes. All right, so I'm going to switch over to the tablet. Let me just wake it up here real quick and get rid of the thing that's already on here. There we go. All right, make sure I have this equation. -7, 6, -10. Okay, I think I got it. All right, so this equation was x squared plus y squared minus 7x plus 6y minus 10 equals 0. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do two things. I am going to add 10 to both sides. Get that constant term over there. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to write my x terms next to each other, and I'm going to write my y terms next to each other. So after I do that, I'm going to get x squared minus 7x plus y squared plus 6y equals 10. All right, so now I'm ready to do my completing the square trick. I'm going to start with the x term. So the number sitting next to x is a -7. So what I'm going to do with that is divide that by 2, which is just -7 halves. And then the square of -7 halves is 49 over 4. So that number is going to get added to both sides of the equation. Let's go ahead and do the y terms now. The number attached to the y is a 6. So I'm going to divide that by 2. That gives me 3. And then, of course, 3 squared equals 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So what we're going to get is x squared minus 7x. Let me go ahead and put this equals 10 over here. And now I'm going to add 49 over 4 to both sides. And then we have y squared plus 6y. And now I'm going to add the 9 to both sides. All right. So now, the first 3 terms of that expression on the left-hand side make a perfect square trinomial. It's a little, takes a little getting used to when there's a fraction involved. Uh-oh, trying to get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, it takes a little getting used to when there's a fraction involved, but this is x minus 7 halves squared. So a little trick of the trade is when you're completing the square, there are 2 steps involved in what I call the magic trick. Step 1, divide by 2. Step 2, square the answer. The answer to step 1 of the magic trick is always going to be the number that ends up sitting there. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take my y squared plus 6y plus 9 and write that as y plus 3 squared. Okay, now let's see, how are we going to add 10 plus 49 fourths plus 9? Well, I was going to try to do it in my head, but better play it safe. This is 40 over 4. This is 49 over 4. This is 36 over 4. Let's see. So when you add 39, 40 plus 49 is 89. 89 plus 36 is 125. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Over 4. All right, so that's the equation of the circle in standard form. And from there, it's very easy to write the center. The center would be 7/2, -3. And the radius would be the square root of 125 over 4. The square root of 125 simplifies to square root of 25 times 5, which is 5 square root of 5. And of course, the square root of 4 is 2. So the center of this circle is 7/2, -3. And the radius is 5 square root of 5 over 2. And that, I believe, is everything you need to know about section 1.9. So we'll see you next time.